As an IT service provider, you are probably responsible for accessing dozens, if not hundreds of different client networks as part of your job. The business liability your company may face in the midst of an account breach is unprecedented and a risk that has to be accounted for. In today's episode, we will look more closely at account management through security boundaries and figure out how to audit for anomalous behavior across all the client networks that you manage. Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Data, the show that takes the mystery out of information security management for IT service providers. I'm your host, Dana Ebb. When you think about it, chances are you hold access to the critical systems across many of the client networks that you manage. The accounts you log into to conduct work have some of the highest privileges and should be monitored very closely. More importantly though, you want to monitor for other accounts you may not control that could gain similar privileges. How else can you differentiate if it's your techs that are accessing systems you're responsible for, if it's business owners and their staff, or adversaries who have breached the systems? This is where account auditing comes in. There are a few things we need to consider when using account auditing. Firstly, we have to know just what we want to look for and tune out the noise of extraneous security logging that just doesn't matter to us in this context. Secondly, we have to build a baseline so we can look for changes as they happen, so we can focus on what's important to us through anomaly detection. And finally, we have to choose the tools and tactics that can give us the most coverage. In our case, we're going to focus on using Active Directory account auditing in Windows Server 2008, since chances are you're servicing most of your clients through the Microsoft Windows Server stack. The good news is, if you're using older server technology like Windows Server 2003, Active Directory account auditing does exist, so many of the tactics I will be discussing here will work there too. You just have to research the matching policies, features, and function sets. So let's talk about how you can enable account auditing on Windows Server. Microsoft includes a simple but effective command line tool called Audit, which is designed to do just that. It allows you to quickly query the audit subsystem to see what is set and can allow you to modify the audit policies according to your needs. What is interesting here is that with the introduction of more fine-grained logging in Windows Server 2008, the expanded audit reporting requires Audit if you wish to individually set the new audit subcategories, instead of a single on-off configuration through group policy like in the past. Let me show you how that works. Open up a command window with elevated privileges and run Audit. By running the simple command audit-get/category account management, you can see what subcategories you can report on and what the current settings are. The subcategories we're interested in include security group management and user account management. By enabling those, we can determine when users are created and added or removed from critical security groups like domain admins and local administrators. If you want to modify an existing policy, you simply use the /set argument and toggle the success flag to watch for change events. For more information, check the show notes for some informative TechNet articles on the subject. The great news is, if you use IT automation systems like System Center, Kaseya, or Level Platforms, you can easily script this. What I recommend is that once you decide on what you want to look for, consider scheduling to reapply these audit policies on a regular basis, just in case someone accidentally or maliciously decides to turn them off. Even better, you can monitor for when audit policies are changed, allowing you to watch for such interesting behaviors. We'll talk more about that in a moment. It's a great segue on how to evaluate that auditing is working. Account auditing is driven through a set of event IDs. They're typically categorized to represent three types of distinct actions: when something is created, changed, or deleted. So as an example, if you were to add a user's account to the local administrators group, an event would be recorded with the ID of 4735 to the security logs, telling you that the membership is changed. And it will even tell you which user was added to which group. On a domain, that same event would be represented with event IDs 4735, 4737, or 4755, depending on if it's a local, global, or universal security group. The nice thing is, with these predictable event IDs, we can monitor for changes to security groups that matter the most to us. In our IT automation systems, we can even monitor for these events and immediately alert the appropriate staff to look into this if something was to change. Many of the more sophisticated RMM players out there even offer an ability to trigger the creation of a new service ticket so someone with authority can review the incident right away. So from the time that the membership has changed until someone is taking action to remediate the problem, if it's a problem at all, could be handled in just a matter of minutes, or scheduled on a more appropriate basis. But what if you haven't invested in IT automation systems like System Center or Kaseya? No problem. You can just as easily attach a task to an event in Windows Server and have the system automatically send you an email or run a program that could alert you when something's going on. And with the advancements in the new trigger functionality for events, you can set conditions on what to look for and just what action should be taken. As an example, you could watch for when the membership of the domain admins group has changed and have the server text you with information of who's done it. With the custom XML filters, you can even write advanced XPath queries to make sure you are focusing on the events that matter the most to you, without fretting about the security events that don't. When it comes time to respond, the question of what is appropriate will differ with each organization. The good news is, it's pretty cut and dry here. You want to know when someone is having their privileges elevated to a service or admin account and determine if that's appropriate. Along with group membership changes, you can also look for new backdoor accounts being created or critical accounts being removed or demoted. Once you know the event is occurring, a documented process defining who is responsible to review such incidents can be triggered so human heuristics can determine if it's an authorized action or not. If it is, you can close the case and be confident that it's been reviewed and appropriately documented through your change management processes. If it hasn't, well, you tell me, what do you think's appropriate action? Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/DanaEpp and send me a tweet letting me know how you would respond if this incident occurred in your organization. My favorite tweets will be shared in an upcoming episode. Well, there you have it, the essence of account auditing. It really isn't that hard, is it? If you have any security concepts that you would like to see covered in a future episode, email us at beyondthedata@scorpionsoft.com. You can also follow me on Twitter and tweet me your comments, feedbacks, and suggestions. And of course, you can always catch up on the latest episodes and provide feedback on the show's website at beyondthedata.tv. Until next time, remember that security without auditing isn't secure at all. You have to monitor your access control systems. You always have to look beyond the data.